Okay guys, I'm out here in the garden, pounding stakes in the ground, running string, taking a lot of measurements. Now, I did a video a little while back where I talked about 3, 4, 5 and how you find square and how I was approaching that whole idea to get what I did out here. When my dad came out here with the tractor, I had to take all my string down so that he had a clear open space to make this level, and you know, he wasn't working around stakes and strings and stuff. So I had to put all that back up, and I kind of am adjusting everything at this point because we came up with the plan that we would use cattle panel as a fencing to go around all this. And the cattle panel is 16 feet long. So that I'm kind of like, I started out with my 3, 4, 5 method, but then I kind of had to adjust it just a little bit to conform to the cattle panel. So at this point, I'm basing everything off of that. So right where that cone is, that is the outside corner. Basically, this is going to be the fence line where you see this string running. And it's going to go to that post right there. Now that is 64 feet. So cattle panel are 16 feet long, 16, 32, 48, 64 feet. So that is my fence line. Now from there, I was trying to figure out, well, what do I do for a bed? Because originally I was just going to do 2 25-foot beds with space in the middle. And anyway, the numbers weren't, I don't know, I just wasn't jiving with the numbers. So what I came up with was that stake to that stake is 6 feet long. And then I got the same thing over here, 6 feet. So basically I'm gonna have a 52-foot long bed from those 2 inner stakes. And then we got the same thing over here, 6 feet, 6 feet. So I just, you know, I put a string at 6 feet on each end, and that's gonna make things a whole lot easier trying to figure out where I'm gonna run my beds. So where I left off, guys, this is gonna be my fence line. And then I had run this string right here at 6 feet. And let's see, so this is a 6-foot walkway, basically. I figure that's where the majority of foot traffic's gonna be, company or whatever. But when it all comes down to it, I'm gonna be the one walking through all this. Anyway, 6-foot walkway, 4-foot walkway right here. I know you think, oh, I'd probably keep it 6 all the way around or 4 all the way around, but I'm just working with the numbers I got here. But it's working. So what I did from here was I had this string running in the last clip, and what I did was I took every 4 foot, I put a stake. So 4 foot, 4 foot. And then what I did after that, I went to every 4-foot stake, and then I measured 30 inches over. And then what that ended up giving me is a 30-foot bed, 18-inch walkway. 30-inch bed, 18-inch walkway. Until I ran out of string and ran out of stakes. But these beds right here, from one end to the other, it's getting kind of hard to see down there, but it is 52 feet long. So from here, I'm thinking, I've kind of been looking into Hugo culture beds, and I know I'm not gonna do a Hugo culture bed per se, but I'm kind of gonna try to take that approach a little bit. Now, if you guys were watching last summer, I had a masticator out here, and they tore up this place. Basically, as a tractor with like a wood chipper on the front of it. And they came in here and just shredded up all the brush and little trees that were in here and left all this wood chip everywhere. And the wood chips are decomposing. It's almost been a year at this point. So as far as like Hugo culture beds go, you know, everything I was saying or watching was saying like at least a year before you probably plant on them. So my idea here is I'm just trying to use what resources I have at my fingertips, and I'm gonna kind of start raking some of this stuff up lightly, not too heavy. I don't want to get a whole bunch of that stuff in there, but I'm gonna like put a light base down in these beds, and then put my horse manure, and I got some chicken manure, and I got other stuff around here, put that on top of it. Now realistically, probably what's gonna happen is, more likely than not, I'll just really, in all likelihood, be planting in the dirt with all this stuff around it. But I'll be creating a foundation so that as the years go by, I'll be building this stuff up, and you know, these beds will get higher and higher each year, because I'll be just stacking it on top of it every year with, you know, new stuff. So I know somebody's probably gonna say it. I was thinking the same thing. Is that walkway gonna be big enough? Everybody that I see market garden that does it, you know, the pros do it this way, it's gotta work. So that wheelbarrow just fits. It's like a perfect fit. Kind of shadows here, but it just fits in there. So when my dad did the tractor work over here, he kind of pushed some of the stuff up into some piles. So I've been taking the piles, putting it in a wheelbarrow, and walking it over here and putting it down in this bed here. Now the masticator, when it came out here, it doesn't do a pretty job. It rip roars and tears stuff apart. So it leaves some pretty big stuff here and there. So I kind of have to go through this and make sure I don't have, you know, big humongous hunks of wood in there. But I do have a pile of wood chips that are nicely chipped, very fine. And once I get my horse manure on top of this bed, I'll be putting the nice wood chips in there for a walkway to keep down the weeds. So this is my view from the greenhouse of the garden to be in progress. Anyway, I gotta call it a day, guys. There's still tons to do out there. Thanks for tuning in with me, guys. See you soon.